Greetings to you all, and of course, I welcome you to this broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. As you join me, please indicate to me whether you hear me clearly and you also see me clearly. I would greatly appreciate that. This evening, I have cause to speak about this young man, Bojnarine, or Bojnat, whatever his name is, Bola, the owner of Doubleday Hotel, who has, as is expected, gained some courage, spunks, to come forward and begin speaking on certain platforms, on social media platforms. I would like to inform him, because I know you will see this broadcast, and his handlers would also, that once you decide to come public and begin to talk, you have to expect that there will be responses that you may not like. So while you join this broadcast, please share it as widely as possible. Tag the likes of Bara Jagdi and Anil Nandlal. They normally come and peep in the background because they need to know what they've created, especially Irfan Ali. Let me present to you this truth. And the truth is that there is never going to be a day when, under any circumstance, I would go quiet about Adriana's situation. Never. Until and unless all, not one, not two, not three, all of the people involved in the murder of that child, in the abduction of that child, and in the cover up of that situation, until all of you are brought to justice and you face the full extent, the maximum penalties of any law, I will not be quiet. There is no political experience, rally, activity, assignment, nothing that will make me lose focus of this situation. None. I would prefer to not be in an election campaign or election activity and so on. I would prefer to not be present than to be so distracted that this situation goes buried, quiet, forgotten. No. Thank you for tuning in. And as long as you can hear me clearly, I'll begin to speak to this matter. I don't wait for numbers to build and whatever. If you want to catch it, then you just watch by the replay. I'm monitoring some of your comments here because I need to see who's saying what. Tonight is one of those nights. I need to see what you're saying and who's brave enough to come to say certain things on my platform. I want to engage, first of all of you candidates, presidential, prime ministerial, national, regional, whatever you are, especially presidential ones. You see, once you begin to have the likes of Bara Jagdeo dictating to you, and I know what they do. They have their trolls. Their trolls will be set up, they paid, and those trolls are told to come forward, the likes of OC Rogers. He's a troll. He has no significance in people. But he's one of those. So they will tell them to go out there and make it appear as if it's a bad thing to speak about Adriana. So any politician, any political candidate who is speaking about Adriana, the PPP will come to say, well, you see, you're using this for political points. I don't care what y'all say. Tell Bara Jagdeo that and you watch me, Bara Jagdeo, I don't care what you say. You are intellectually disqualified from talking about anything. You are also morally disqualified from speaking to me about what I talk about. I talk what I want to talk about. So you don't have the opportunity to make me feel as if, like you did to others sometimes, you say, hey, it's political, they run away. Not me. I am telling you that you all made Adriana's situation political. Therefore, I shall speak to it with utmost confidence that it is political. And if you want to say that I'm using this to score political points, I do not care what you say. You lack moral fortitude. You lack moral integrity to talk to anything. So let's get that part out of the way first. You know this is a wrong opportunity bargain. I don't play that game with you. I don't play that game with you at any time and under any circumstance. Do not try it because it doesn't work with me. So you send all the trolls over here to say that I shouldn't talk about Adriana, and I'll tell you to hell with you and them. If you want us to stop speaking about it, then let us ensure that the likes of Bola and all others involved are put before the court of law and are dealt with according to the laws of this country. He doesn't even realize, because he's like Irfan, he lacks basic, the most fundamental intellectual ability. He doesn't know how to reason. He lacks logic. He doesn't know how to reason. So he incriminates himself. He makes himself guilty in many cases and doesn't even realize that. That's what he does. He is so silly that he does not even understand when he is incriminating himself and making his business entirely responsible for this child's life. And I'll show you how. So don't come to me that foolishness telling me about you. I have to be so careful. Apostle Joshua, my brother, because it could hurt campaign. But listen to me. I don't care about any campaign when it comes to this child. I don't care about any campaign. This child is not oh, Adriana, you have to be careful because it could hurt your campaign. How can telling you the truth? How can standing for the life or the integrity, the justice of a child, 11-year-old girl who was murdered, how can that hurt a campaign? What I could tell you is, you know, in the PPP, that when I tell you all the truth, it hurts you. You know that Adriana's situation has brought you all to the lowest of lows. So because of that, you don't want people to talk about it. The closer we get to election day, the worse it will be for you all. So you don't want anybody to talk about this, but I will. I will. Those of us in Ford Ghana movement, I'm certain we will. Because you cannot be a mother and you cannot be a father who cares about your children and tell them that you will go quiet because of politics. No. You don't just go quiet because of politics. This is politics because it speaks to how a situation is governed, how people are governed. This is most important to me, the lives of individuals, especially our children. This is most important to me as a father, as a Guyanese, as a man. This is of utmost importance. So I know what you all will comment. I'm telling you before you start that this is political. It is 100% political. So Bola had the nerve, this boy, this creature, had the mind to come forward on certain platforms. I guess he got the release now to talk. And I want to play for you that which he said and analyze painfully so what he has said or what he was made to say. Because in one of those videos, I'll show you what he's doing. I would like to begin by showing you what I call the video of the century. And this is where I begin this discourse from.
Management. I said, we're going now with the cameras. There's a female washroom here. There's a bar here. The management explained to me that when you come and if you're going to use the pool, and as you can see, you see the pool here, clear. Like when the family said they went in the pool and check, everybody went in the pool and check. Normally, you ain't got to check if there's a body in this pool. You could see it because the pool is clear. Right? So, obviously the young lady, the 11-year-old who has gone missing from this place is not in this pool. Right? So I walking around, I look in, I talk to management before I talk to the mother and the father to make sure I have an inclusive story. Everybody knows what's going on, why it's going on and so on. Right? So you got the pool here.
That's what I call the video of the century. Because the bushy-headed moron didn't realize what he was doing. He was showing us that at least in 2 feet of water, let's say 3 feet of water, you can see. Now bear that number in mind. In at least 3 feet of water, there is visibility. So we don't have to go to the bottom of anywhere. And I'll show you how this boy from I call him a boy, this lying creature from the hotel, doesn't know how to lie with sense. I tell you that. When you see you are on the border of imbecility, of stupidity, don't lie. Somebody please tell Irfan that. When you know that you can barely reason, it doesn't make sense to lie to people. Because when you can hardly reason, telling the truth is the easiest thing to do. Because they lack the ability to to connect things, to make things coherent. They don't have that ability. This boy said that it was confirmed that the girl is not in the pool. Let me play it for you again. Here's
Management.
one
I said,
more.
we're going now with the cameras. There's a female washroom here. There's a bar here. The management explained to me that when you come and if you're going to use the pool, and as you can see, you see the pool here, clear. Like when the family said they went in the pool and check, everybody went in the pool and check. Normally, you ain't got to check if there's a body in this pool. You could see it because the pool is clear. Right? So, obviously, the young lady, the 11-year-old who has gone missing from this place, is not in this pool. Right? So, I walking around, I look in, I talk to management before I talk to the mother and the father to make sure I have an inclusive story. Everybody knows what's going on, why it's going on, and so on. Right? So, you got the pool here.
If you notice, he was pointing to the shallow section. Let's agree on that. Do you on this broadcast all agree? Apart from don't respond to trolls tonight. Respond to me. Do you agree that Mikhail Rodriguez, known as Guyanese critic, at 10:30 in the evening, at night, on the 23rd of April, do you agree that Guyanese critic showed you let's go to the shallow part, which is at least 3 to 4 feet deep? Did he show you that? Did you all see that? Let me show you again.
Management. I said, we're going now with the cameras. There's a female washroom here. There's a
Can
bar
you
here.
see
The
the bottom of
management
this pool?
explained to me that when you come and if you're going to use the pool, and as you can see, you see the pool here, clear. Like when the family said they went in the pool and check, everybody went in the pool and check. Now,
Good. In the 4 feet section of the pool, the shallow part, can you see the bottom? Can you see it crystal clear? Remember, I told you to bear the number in mind. Bear the number 3 in mind. Okay? Even 4 in mind. So fine. You can see the bottom of this pool absolutely clearly. So in 4 feet of water, the color of the pool the water quality doesn't change from shallow to deep. That's what I tell how that's what I'm telling you that the people who support the PPP, the people, the individuals, are intellectually dwarfed. They cannot reason sensibly. It is impossible for me to say that I accredit or I value the reasoning ability of anybody who supports the PPP. The moment you support this political party, this one, I'm not talking about Chetty's time, this one here, it is obvious that you support lying, deception, stupidity, imbecility, moronic behaviors, asininity. You support what is colossal in terms of being a donkey. It is insane for me to think that in a fact finding, information sharing age, this stupidness will have to come before me. If you are showing me a pool, it is a body of water. There's not one type of water here, then another type of water over there. For heaven's sake, the pool is fed by the same water system, the same purification system. It is the same. So you don't have dirty water on one side and clear water on the other side. I can promise you that by Thursday, if press a media representative asks Bar Jagdi, but this pool, you tell you the pool has two different types of water. Or call critic and ask that as I call him, the bushy-headed moron. Ask him, and he will tell you the pool has two different types of water. I bet my life critic will tell you there's two different types of water in that pool because he's that stupid. This is a pool, a body of water. So the chlorine that treats the deep side, since one reason like that, is the same chlorine found in the shallow side. So if chlorine affects the skin in the deep side, the chlorine will affect the skin in the shallow side because it's the same water. You people are dunce beyond repair. So I presented that video to you because you need to hear how this fella reads and what he's saying. Before we get to him, let's look at this video here.
Show us the video. Show us the video right there. Let's see the video.
Show it to the media right there. Show it to the media right there. Show it to the media right there. Show it to the media right there.
Why am I showing you these videos? I'm showing them for you to understand something tonight. That the PPP has decided that we'll focus, or they'll tell you to focus on the grandmother. You all remember that? You realize that? They're now saying focus on the grandmother. So before I speak to what I have to rate regarding this Boulder boy, they'd want us to focus on the grandmother and the 14-year-old cousin of Adriana. So they're saying focus on the grandmother. But I want you all to tell me, Bara Jagdeo and Irfan Ali, which grandmother? How could the grandmother y'all talk about? Under what circumstance can this grandmother, this woman, make Irfan Ali do this? When?
Today, as I said, was an important day in evaluating the circumstances and the death of Ariana. And I just want to briefly share with you what was shared with the police representative and shared with me. The forensic pathologists, as you know, as Frank said, were brief, and they started the work sometime around 1:20 p.m. That's when completing the procedure, the forensic pathologists rule out signs of physical and sexual trauma on Ms. Young's body. After careful deliberation, the team concluded that Ms. Young died as a result of drowning. Ms. Young's relatives were briefed following the examination and informed of the medical cause of death. Due to the state of the decomposition of Ms. Young's body, the pathologists were unable to provide an exact time of death. The relatives were also informed that the pathologists ruled out theories of forcible drowning or any other means of killing, followed by disposal of the body in water. So that was what.
And whenever I play that video, if you study psychology, one of the first signs, the first indicator of someone lying is that their throat becomes dry. One of the first indicators of being dishonest, of lying, when it is an extreme situation, is that the throat becomes dry. That is why let Blanc tell you, when they hold someone and they questioning somebody for something as serious as murder, or Kanu will tell you when they're dealing with major drug busts, and the person says that they want water to drink, that's the first sign that you know this is we have who we want. That's one of the first indicators. When they have to get water to drink before they talk, that's the first sign. It's a natural biological response to pressure that listen, I have to say something that I know I shouldn't be saying. Irfan's throat went up parched dry. And they want me to believe that this grandmother would cause the president, the man who's paid to be president of this country, to lie. A grandmother. Y'all tell me, when do you believe that this woman, and I'm not saying anybody's innocent, I'm just telling you that when you examine, when you examine the whole situation, since Bola is this angel, and the grandmother is the only person the PVV tells you focus on the grandmother. When would you find a commander of Region 3 in Mandal lying to Amicia, telling her to go home and rest because they got footage? He has footage of Adrian leaving in a car with some man. The Guyana Police Force issued a statement. Sheriff or whoever it is, whoever controls Guyana Daily News, issued a report that PNN, whatever the car number is, driven by somebody, this Ram, Toyota Ram, is the car in which Adriana left. The grandmother and Stefan would cause you all to act in such a manner. That's what you're telling me? You are suggesting that the grandmother and this Stefan boy have so much political influence that it will make a president of a country lie. The police force lie. Mandel, the Region 3 commander, lie and try to suggest to the mother you should go home, would bring an entire battalion, if possible. Bring out a squad of policemen. Grandmother? A grandmother could cause all of that to happen. That's what you're telling me? You want me to believe, Bojan Bola, that the grandmother and Stefan are so politically powerful that they'll make Barack come before a nation. I said, if you all have the footage of this girl leaving the car, show it. And it can't be shown till now. The grandmother? She needs to be president. If this grandmother and Stefan could do this and could cause Ali to lie, Frank Anthony to stutter, to cause three students to come to this country and lie, and the Saints are fixed with something and they lied, y'all need to tell me then that on the 1st of September, the grandmother and Stefan would be presidential candidate, prime minister candidate, because they could make the whole PVP come down. But I know wicked people when I see them, and I know what is called seeking to direct attention. I know how it functions. When you want to channel my focus to something, I know exactly what you're doing. You want us to say that, listen, there are two people we're going to hold, and there are two people we're going to deal with. There are two people we're going to ensure that you make the enemy in this situation. And Borj Narayan will be an angel. The policemen will be angels. Mandal will be angels. And they'll all return to work. Remember Damlal? When the one in Parliament told you he'll be back? Damlal is now back on the PVP list of candidates because that's what they do. They will spin, twist, lie, deceive, connive, manipulate the truth until they say, good, we have you all cornered, you're scared to talk, so now we bring the people back in your face to show you that we can bring them back and make them what we want. If the grandmother and Stefan have so much influence over Irfan that he will sit there and what you need to do is to make her the presidential candidate because she could control an entire political party's future. She could bring the whole PPP down. Granny. Stefan should be prime minister candidate because these two people that you're calling him all the time, they could cause the president to lie. You think that someone with my level of intelligence, which is eons beyond Air France, you believe that someone with the intelligence of me would sit and allow y'all to spin such a stupid level of reasoning? You believe I would sit back here and allow my years of education, of studying, of reading for a degree to go to waste? My years of scientific research, you believe I'll sit back here and allow you who graduated from Ifort University to make me think that you could convince Guyanese that a grandmother, the grandmother, is so powerful that critical have to come out and lie. Freddie has to go on a show and try to berate and disrespect the family and say, why you want more? Why? Another bushy head. Why you have to try to get another autopsy? Why? You're disrespectful. If Freddie has to go to that extent to almost get high blood pressure because the family say they want another autopsy, it tells me that it can't be the grandmother who's most important in this situation. I played the first two videos to present to you the fact that I will not accept any such reasoning and any such spin. I am not saying that anyone is innocent. What I am saying is that none of them, the grandmother or Stefan, can have such influence over politicians in this country. Never. You mean to tell me two broke people who could barely make it to cause Bar Jagger to do what he did? Taken to refuse to do what he should have? Policemen to stand and protect the hotel? Huh? No. So the focus is not on who may be an accomplice. The focus is on who has the authority to cause all of these political players to do what they did. So let's go to this boy, this creature. Listen to him and listen to him carefully.
Short now, I'd like to give what's really transpired on my end of that story. Approximately 2:30 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, I received a call from my hotel staff members informing me that a guest was reportedly missing. I was at a salon at the time and arrived at.
So you play from the beginning and come back, but I want to hear something. You realize he said at 2:30 p.m. on April 23rd. So you knew that Adriana went missing at 1:30 p.m. He's not giving a statement. So he gives himself 1 hour to say he wasn't anywhere there. He was nowhere on site. And at 2:30 in the afternoon, he got the call because at 1:30 she was last seen in the pool. Just after that, she disappeared. The grandmother is saying, anybody see Adriana? So he now knows, he's aware that if he says that he got a call at 2:30 in the afternoon, that's 1 hour away from 1:30, and he was at the salon, he's now away from the scene. You get that? You get it yet? He has a statement he's going to try to read. Now, again, Bojan Ryan, if you know that you barely made it to grade 11 and you just passed through school, remember, no child left behind. They didn't leave you behind. So they just walk you through the system. You didn't have to get in passing grade. So they just walked you through the high school if you got that far. So we know for sure that whoever did this to you is so unkind that they made you try to read a statement. Oh, why would they do that to you? Why would they make you read something? when we know the challenge you face. So I play from the beginning again, but I want you to realize that he's saying at 2:30 p.m. I wasn't there. Gives him 1 hour to say I was nowhere on scene. I was nowhere on the scene, so I don't know what happened at the hotel. Look at this.
Sure, now I'd like to give what's really transpired on my end of that story. Approximately 2:30 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, I received a call from my hotel staff members informing me that our guest was reportedly missing. I was at a salon at the time and arrived at the hotel around 12:50 p.m. Upon arrival, I saw 2 police officers from the Tushin outpost and 2 individuals searching the pool, one of whom was a swimming instructor and the other was a family member.
All right, you pick up from 45 seconds. We show again. This is going to take a while. I want you to focus on this. Realize my body to drink water just now, right? Realize that? Take a sip. Take a drink of water. Take a drink. He's reading. So he said at 2:30 p.m. he got a call in Talbot 12:50. Then he said, listen to how he makes himself absolutely guilty of neglect. He said that when he got there was a swimming instructor and another person. This fella said nothing about a lifeguard. This is a public pool. People pay to use it. Children are in it. The law stipulates that you have to have, in this case, lifeguards. There must be safety. It's a public pool. He's making money from this. Did anybody hear him say that there was a lifeguard on the scene searching? No. So he had people in this pool, children in the pool with no lifeguard. And he wasn't there according to his reasoning. That, according to law, is called criminal negligence. It's a crime. He's supposed to be charged. He is free, but Nurse King is a terrorist. We start from the beginning again. How could this man tell us that he wasn't there, and when he showed up 1 hour late, 1 hour after Adriana went missing, 2 people, two, there's 19 family members there, and only 2 people are searching a pool when a whole child is missing? And Bojnarine Bowler, you want to come out and talk? Bojnanath, whatever your name is, you want to come out to talk? And Team Progress and whoever else they are trying to direct you in a pathway by you appear to be so innocent and of course absolutely free of any guilt or responsibility. So who has a pool that's 8 feet deep as one side, no lifeguard, and children are in it? The family has to pay to use it, or patrons have to pay. So you are saying that the pool was being searched by 2 people. You endangered the lives of children, and you have not faced one criminal charge. Bara Jagdun A. Fanali, Anil Nandlal, but you also call Nurse King terrorist and put it before the court, and the director of public prosecution suggest that Nurse King should be tried for inciting terrorism. So lying again now means you incite terrorism. That's how reckless you allow people's lives. And talk about you want to go back in 1st of September. Any Guyanese who votes for the PPP is voting for people who cover up murder of my children. I'm telling you that. I'm not going on any campaign trying to be nice to y'all. Let's deal with the facts. Anyone who supports the PPP supports people who cover the kidnapping and murder of our children. That's what you support. Why you want to tell us that you are not there? And that when you showed up on the scene, there was a
a swimming instructor. If you came on the scene and you met a swimming instructor and you also met another individual, where would have been the 19 family members? You want to suggest nobody was searching the pool? Well, you weren't there, dummy. If you told us that you were not there, where at 2:30 you got a call, you are at a salon. I guess you had to have your perm or whatever. So when you got to perming your hair, you had to leave the salon to go to your place of business. It gives you therefore another few minutes to get there. When you got there, you had to enter the premises. Then you had to get to the pool. When you got to the pool, you saw two people searching. How do you tell me then that nobody else is searching? You were not there, and the cameras don't work. You weren't present. So don't talk as if you know you could say that nobody has searched the pool. You were not there, according to what you said. Bola, unless some here gel, some corner gel got in your eye, are you speaking for what you imagine? You said that you were not present, and that at 2:30, which is almost an hour after Adriana was kidnapped, you were not present. I'm missing here. So when you got through priming your hair, what happened? You showed up at the scene. When you showed up at the scene, the rollers out here, whatever happened, you were there. You got there and you said you saw a swimming instructor and you saw another person. You never once said that the lifeguard was there. So how do you have people swimming in your pool according to the laws of this country and the United Nations law regarding children? You are supposed to protect children. You have nothing in place to protect them, and you're not charged. The Allah doesn't see a reason to have you before the court. The police see no reason to bring you before the court, but you're innocent because you're innocent. All that matters is the grandmother and stepfather. Nothing else matters. You are totally exonerated. You have no responsibility in this matter. That's what you want to tell me? Let's go back from the
Sure,
beginning.
now, I'd like to give what's really transpired on my end of that story. Approximately 2:30 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, I received a call from my hotel staff members informing me that a guest was reportedly missing. I was at a salon at the time and arrived at the hotel around 12:50 p.m. Upon arrival, I saw two police officers from the Tushin outpost and two individuals searching the pool, one of whom was a swimming instructor and the other was a family member. I asked whether the deep end has been checked, to which the instructor replied, "Can you see the bottom?" He's asking me if I can see the bottom. My response to him, "No." I encouraged him to dive all the way to the bottom and feel with his hand. I have already begun to undress to assist personally. The swimming instructor then asked the child grandmother whether Adriana could swim. The grandmother replied, "Yes, she can swim." At this point, the instructor concluded that Adriana was not in the pool and the search was halted. This was the only time someone went into the pool physically to search. I further assist the police to open barns on the ground floor to search. My staff member already assisted them to open the rooms, even the one that occupied with guests. The police was arrested.
So you listen to that. You've heard it. You've heard this man suggest that when he got there, he was taking his clothes off to help. And he told the instructor that he cannot see in 8 feet of water. So let's go back to critics. This day now, this is 2:30 or 2:35, 2:40, 2:55 in the afternoon. There was no rain brilliant sunshine, scorching heat. And this creature is saying that you cannot see for 4 feet. Why would I say 4 feet or 3 feet? Let me show you why. Look.
Them police girl in this pool, boy. The fucking girl that went in there, we went in there just now, boy. What the fuck, boy? That's why they didn't want nobody come in the place. Them didn't want nobody come in the place. What? What?
Observe Adriana's position in this pool. She's 5 feet 5 inches tall. And if you're 5 feet 5 inches tall, Bojnarine, it means that your pool is not a pool of miracles. It is not a pool at Bethesda, where the cripple was laying there and an angel will come and stir the water up, and every time Yeshua, somebody passed, Yeshua, the man was there for 28 years, and he said, nobody's there. You don't have a miracle pool where angels come and stir it. So your pool has no current that can cause somebody who's laying flat at the bottom to stand up and then surface. Stop making yourself an idiot. I don't know how Blanham hasn't arrested this boy yet. And why Haken hasn't arrested him. Actually, I know why. I'm just saying it for the sake of conversation. I know why you aren't arrested, but I'll just say it. I don't know why he's not arrested yet. Because if you want to suggest that you told the man, this is what he said, to search the bottom with your hand. You have mud at the bottom of the pool? What do you have at the bottom of this day pool that will make somebody have to go in there and search with their hand because they can see nothing? Well, what you forgot was that when she got into the pool, when she was put into the pool, she was in this position. Bola, your pool has no current. Your pool has no riptides. Your pool doesn't have anything that if you're laying this way, the current will push you up this way. So the position in which you find a person is the position in which they drown. Bola. So Adriana being 5 feet 5 inches tall, I asked the audience here to tell me if you could see when Critic was walking around. Could you see at least 4 feet into the pool? Yes. So if you admitted that the pool is 8 feet deep at the deepest point, and Adriana is 5 feet 5 inches tall, then you have at least 2 feet 7 inches to work with. Dummy. So who couldn't see 2 feet into the water? So you should have brought a jackhammer and chiseled the whole bottom of the pool, since apparently you have some special chamber at the bottom here. And I'm just saying, being facetious. I'm not going to make you jump and say, oh, unless they have a chamber. The pool has no chamber. It's an open pool with nobody in it. So let me show this video again. This one.
Them police girl in this pool, boy. The fucking girl that went in there, we went in there just now.
We could see in this video Adriana's feet. She's 5 feet 5 inches tall. We could have seen her feet, which means you could see at least 5 feet down into the water. And the position where she was found means that she was stooping, if you want to suggest that, for 20 hours. You don't change position in the pool when you drown. You want to come on social media and you want to go on these TikTok shows where people have you reading some statement. That statement that you read should land you in jail. That statement that you read should land you in prison for at least, let's start with this one, criminal negligence. That's the first step. There was no lifeguard. Secondly, how do you say
that in your absence, you know that nobody else is searching the pool. After 1 whole hour, the grandmother asked where she was. You weren't there when she asked the question because you said you weren't present. You said your cameras aren't working, so you can't tell me you have footage to show anything. You never once said that you asked person to search your phone to see anything. So how do you know that nobody else was searching the pool? Who told you that? If you want to suggest that the staff members told you that nobody was searching, why were they not searching if a child is said to be in the pool? Additionally, you also said that you assisted in opening bonds, not hotel rooms. That's how the bonds part. You started opening bonds to search for what? Why would you want to open doors in your hotel to search for a child who's missing if you know that she's in the pool and the instructor didn't go down to dive? So the instructor told you, Bojnarine, a swimming instructor told you that, listen, can Adriana swim? The grandmother said, yes, she could swim. Oh, all right, good. We won't search anymore. And you own the pool. You own the pool. And you never said, hey, no. This is my pool. And if I feel a child is in it, I'll go in myself and search. You didn't say that. You didn't say that I will call the lifeguard, which you didn't have. Lifeguard, come here. Let's go search a pool. You didn't do that either. You didn't say you called on the police and call in friends, say, listen, you all family members, you all come. Let's go into this deep part. Who could swim? Who could swim? Me. All right, good. Let's go down here and show this man that we will search the whole pool. You never did that either. Oh, but you're opening bonds to search? So you, after the man said, well, she's not in the pool, you abandoned the search in your own pool? You never once said, listen, this pool is so murky, according to critics. The pool is so murky, let's drain it. Let's empty it. And we see 2 feet of sand at the bottom. As the old people used to tell me, you don't even lie with sense. You don't even lie with sense. Your mendacious behavior, which is lying, is so sickening that you belong to the PPP. The likes of you would be in the PPP. Y'all would work well in the People's Pathetic Party. You will. You didn't drain the pool. You make a swimming instructor tell you that you mustn't search your own pool. You own the pool. And the instructor could tell you not to search it. And it makes perfect sense to you, the owner of the pool, that the instructor will tell you, hey, she can swim, so let's move from here. Listen, man. Listen to me. Who in their right mind would know a child is missing for over an hour? And the instructor tells you, listen, we got to search this pool. The girl can swim. All right, let's go. Let's go to the bond and search now. We opening the bond for? Why are you opening the bond if you haven't searched the pool yourself? Why are you opening these bonds to allow people to search somewhere? Did you try to show them the girl is not in any one of these rooms, these places, and this hotel? Is that what you wanted to do? Did you want to direct people to say, listen, we didn't drain the pool. I didn't search the pool. The grandmother said she could swim. The instructor instructed me about my own pool. Listen, the girl's not in there. Let's go. And you just abandoned the search. I never went back to say, well, listen, we haven't found her anywhere in this hotel. We need to try the pool one more time. You never once suggested that you went into the pool to search for a child who's missing. You never said that. And I think I know why you didn't say it. So let's go to his other video. It gets better. Isn't this one?
That's right. Okay. Continue, brother.
When I asked her, she keep looking at the grandmother's face. For my judgment, I said she's hiding something. So I told the grandmother, this girl has to know where Adriana gone. And when Stefan reached me on the road and asked me for CCTV footage, I explained to her what goes on. And I tell him, you got to ask the 14-year because every time I ask her, she's not looking.
Do you realize now, on the same broadcast with this same team, Progress People, and the other one, you realize what he's saying here? The 14-year-old girl, here he said, he told Stefan, you got to ask the 14-year-old girl who the grandmother took us some gaga. You can't talk to her. So the PPP is ensuring here, through this boy, he's being advised, obviously, that listen, we want to ensure that we direct the attention to the 14-year-old and the grandmother along with Stefan. You see what they're doing? 3 people here. Not not double day hotel, not Bola. Go to 3 people, the 14-year-old girl. Because he said when he asks the girl any question, she looks at the grandmother. So the grandmother is essentially, according to him, directing the 14-year-old girl's speech, the cousin's speech. Why? Good. Because that's what y'all don't understand. I always tell people, y'all don't listen. There are certain people in this world who will set you up and drop you like hot cake. You're going to learn. You're going to learn about certain people in this life. The PPP is known for this tactic. They will be as nice as possible to you, and once they get what they want, they leave you on your own, hang you out to dry. Good. That's what you get. I'm not coming to play any games with you all tonight. I'm not the kind of preacher who comes in to play around with you. I'm telling you straight as it is. You see what he's doing? He's implicating Stefan. He's implicating a 14-year-old child. Because he's saying, listen, this girl knows. Why would he do that? Because the grandmother says she mustn't talk. So what is he doing? He's saying, okay, listen, the person who has information, the grandmother says she mustn't talk. I am innocent. That's what he's telling you all. I have nothing to do with this. And he's saying he's even so brilliant that he's saying to somebody, this girl knows what happened. Talk to the girl. And Child Protection Agency has not taken this child yet to make her talk. This is about a murder. Minors aren't allowed to cover murder. I don't know who teach you the law. If a minor is knowledgeable about murder, she must have a forensic interview. If you don't know now, you know. You don't say, oh no, she can't talk because she's a child. No. There are people who conduct what is called a forensic interview. You don't say she's a child, she can't talk. If he said, and he's suggesting that the 14-year-old girl knows what happened, then they'll put her in a room and they'll interview her. They trained child psychologists to make her answer. But what is he doing again? He's saying, let's focus on the grandmother. The PPP are going to nail this woman. Don't be surprised if before election she's brought before the court and charged for this child's death. You don't be surprised, because I know how they do it. They would want to solve this murder before September, because they know that they are on the back foot when it comes to elections. They're going to lose. So they know that if they're going to stand a chance of being a minority government, then at least they have to charge somebody for the death of this girl. Who do you think they're going to charge? This boy? No. Nope. They wouldn't. It would be the Stefan or the grandmother. That is my presumption. I'm saying this as an opinion based on what I'm assessing here. Because he's directing you to somebody. Critic is directing to somebody. O.C. Rogers directing to somebody. PV Trolls are saying, look at the grandmother. That's all they're saying all the time. Look at the grandmother. Look at the grandmother. Look at the grandmother. Why are they stressing on this woman? Because if you make the public look at her, then the public is not focusing on him and them. Let's listen to him.
Okay. Continue, brother.
When I asked her, she keep looking at the grandmother's face. For my judgment, I said she's hiding something. So I told the grandmother, this girl has to know where Adriana gone. And when Stefan reached me on the road and asked me for CCTV footage, I explained, tell you what goes on. And I tell him, you got to ask the 14-year-old, because every time I ask her, she's not looking at me in my face. She's looking at the grandmother.
Wow. Now the question is, why is it this child know make the grandmother put a stop she from talking? You know? There's another question right there, and there's a question that I would like to know the answer to. And I hope that all of these people that said them fighting for justice and actually want to know the truth and don't want to know a one-sided part of the story. I pray that I know that the people that really want to know the truth would like to know what is it that 14-year-old knows, make she can't talk to nobody.
And that's what I said, is that the key evidence in
This one on the show is saying he wants to know Mystic. He wants to know what the 14-year-old knows. Maybe you should ask who she knows. Does she know him? Is it that this child knows him so well she doesn't want to talk to him? And she knows why she doesn't want to talk to him? No. Is it that she knows who she's talking to? And who is asking the question? And what surrounds the who that's asking? Why is when he's asking the question according to him, she's looking at the grandmother? Or is it that the grandmother told her she mustn't say what she saw? Which I would find to be quite strange. Because if Bola wants to suggest that the 14-year-old girl was so intimidated by his presence that she didn't even want to open her mouth, something is wrong with the interaction. And if he wants to suggest that the 14-year-old girl, who's Adriana's cousin, was looking at the grandmother all the time, the question has to arise from what he's trying to suggest, which is why? Because your hotel 12 years ago, had a similar situation. And when I think Francis Michael Bailey did a piece on this, this is how they found the same.
Them police girl in the school, boy. The fucking girl that went in there, we went in there just now, boy. What the fuck, boy? That's why they didn't want nobody come in the place. Them didn't want nobody come in the place. What?
It is said that 12 years ago, Mohammed, I think Shafiq, his name is, that young man was found in the same position, very similar position to Adriana's. And even if he were not, this owner of the hotel is familiar that he knows that he was in jail on remand during Granger's time because Granger's administration caused the case to be reopened, and he was deemed, according to the investigation, along with a staff member, eligible to stand trial in court for murder, where a young man's body ended up in the pool. The pathologist's story changed over time. Sounds familiar? And somebody would want to suggest that while we go out to, because you know that I'm a part of Forward Ghana movement. So when we out there and we working on APNU and others, AFC, whatever it is, you're involved in this campaign, you should not speak about this matter. We're out of this situation. This young man is saying that this, and the child knows. He told Stefan to ask the grandmother. All of this on the 24th of April gave rise to a massive showing of unity. A building was burned. His house was burned. Then people were shot. People were killed on the streets by policemen. All because of the grandmother. That's what this boy wanted to tell me. That even when they got to the Georgetown Hospital Corporation to have the autopsy done, remember that day? That tactical services unit will show up at the hospital and start shooting people who are doing absolutely nothing because of the grandmother and Stefan. These two people are so significant that the TSU, the squad that comes, the riot squad shows up with guns in their hands, live ammunition, shooting Guyanese people, including some people I know here, who just went to support the family, who are doing nothing because of Stefan and the grandmother and a 14-year-old child. That 14-year-old girl is supposed to be interviewed. A statement is supposed to be taken out of that interview, produced from it, and an assessment is supposed to be done based on that interview. Thereafter, it can be concluded that this child is well aware of what happened. What I can tell you is that Adriana could not have been in the pool for 20 hours because my degree is in natural science. I would have studied, and I have medical journals. I wanted to be a doctor, if you didn't know, when I was younger. So I have journals in my house, medical journals. And I am telling you, as you saw, Dr. Commode has spoken to the fact that rigor mortis, rigor, stiffness, mortis, death, the stiffness from death did not step in. So it takes 4 to 6 hours, depending on climatic conditions, for this to step in. 20 hours, according to this fellow's reasoning here, and Irfan's reasoning, and the three stooges who they want to lie. Listen to me. This child's body was not stiff. So if her body was not stiff, as you can see, I'll show you the images. Let's come back to the images. Take note of the images, please. This is her here. See her neck, position of her neck. Look at the position of her feet. Her legs are closed. I will always show you all this. Look, in the pool, her legs are open. When rigor mortis steps in, you do not have mobility in the joints. So if her feet could be apart in the pool, and when the father took her out, Sabrina took her out, her legs were closed, that is not rigor mortis. That's called flaccid joints. Her joints were flexible. She wasn't stiff. So she didn't die for 5 hours yet or 10 hours yet. But Ali said that the three students told him, the report was that she was there for 20 hours because nobody put her in the pool. This creature wants to suggest to us, Bola, that she was there all along, but nobody searched for her with their hands. When you have a broom, dummy, you've got a broom that cleans the pool. You've got the net that takes the leaves out of the pool. Why didn't poke the pool? Because you can feel the whole body. But what you forget to lie about is that if she drowned in this position, which is what you want to suggest, then you don't need to search the pool because you can see it. You can see her right there. You can see all the way down to her feet, which means that you can see at least 5 feet into the water. So we need to search the pool for. Let me close with my question. I trust you can hear me because somebody's trying to call me. People, based on medical science, Adriana did not die on the 23rd. Adriana died on the 24th between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. the latest, maybe even 7 a.m. It was definitely not the day before. Here's my point. This boy is now talking, this creature. And he's being strategic, because I'll tell you what the plan is, then I'll tell you what my problem is right now in this country. The plan is, based on my observation, I told you this a while ago, months ago I told you this. Months ago I said this to you. This man, if he's not in jail, if he's not tried, if there's no international, independent, I know it's an independent investigation because you depend on police information. I know it's an international investigation. If there is no international investigation, cross-boundary investigation, which would be cross-nation, international, whereby Guyana and the USA, Guyana and Canada, Guyana and Britain, Guyana and Germany, wherever it is, you interact, you bring investigators here to deal with the situation. You can even reconstruct the pool. Don't think it's over yet. You all better pray. Pray to all heavens, you, Bola, and others, that I don't have 24 hours or let's say a week to deal with you all in government. Because what I will do is ensure that that pool is cleaned. I repaint it exactly to the blue we had before here, fill it back with water, and put a dummy inside with, like Adriana's body. And you come and stand right beside the pool and tell me where I have to go to search. And heaven help you, Bola. All of heaven help you. If when I put that dummy in that pool, I could see the head, you would never want me to leave this country. I tell you that, because there's certain people in this country who will go down with Adriana. You'll be sentenced to death. And I'll pull the leaf off the gallows for y'all. I'll build one in the public to show them how to deal with you. Because if you tell anybody that you have the swim instructor has to crawl with his hand in the pool to find this child in 8 feet of water, I will reconstruct the pool. I will show you exactly how it looked. And you'll tell me, yes, that was in place. And then we put the pumps back on in the pool. Put chlorine in the pool, all you want to talk about. And when I'm done with that, I don't care if it costs $50 million. When that reconstruction of the scene is done, and we put the dummy inside, dress it exactly like Adriana, you had better pray to all heavens that we can't see in the pool. And I know we will. I'll bring you, I'll bring Critic. I'll bring the Three Stooges, if they're still free, because if half of them go to jail. Trust me, don't worry. I'll bring Irfan. I'll bring Barrett. I'll bring all y'all to look. I'll all y'all. And Nurse Young. Nurse King. Salon. Whoever was doing your hair, whoever did the curl and the mousse for you to stick up straight, even that person has to come and look. Leroy Smith, all y'all will be brought to the pool. And I am promising you that Aliak would not be the DPP. So y'all ain't getting off. You are speaking, Bola, as if you're addressing people who are stupid and intellectually deficient. And I don't appreciate that. In all of this, I show you the plan. Once he is in charge, and once there's no international investigation to this matter, he'll come back as a victim. And then he's going to say his building was wrongfully burnt. But the fire, people say it was arson. He can also say, he didn't set the fire, he wasn't there. He said somebody turned off the water. Remember he said that? People shut off the water so that they want the building to burn. He is building a perfect case to say that he has got to get money for his hotel. And when he files a claim, he will get far more than the hotel is worth, far more than his house is worth. This boy will be potentially a billionaire because he's going to sue if the PPP gets back in there, he will sue the Ministry of Home Affairs, fire people. He will sue the police. He will sue, likely, because after all, y'all made me suffer this loss. See the plan? And if the PPP are there, he'll be paid. He'll get his money back and more. Business as usual. What I could tell you all is that when you put fresh chicken in water, it sinks. When I remember it's with my chicken. When the chicken freezes and somebody comes to buy it, you put it in a bowl of water, it floats because ice floats. Ice doesn't sink. You're opening bonds. Okay. So there's a plan that I'm seeing, and in my view, it will be executed. And it's going according to plan here. Perfectly. But let me close with this. After Darren Wade was removed from this case, Dexter Todd is now the attorney involved. I am a bit uncomfortable that there's so much silence surrounding the situation. Why are we not having reports about the situation? Dr. Terry in Atlanta made a very, very stark and potentially dangerous request for these three stooges because she said that she would love to see what the first report was about. These three stooges here, Dr. Terry said that she would love to see what these three said. Collins, Rodner, the one in Barbados, Mary Marty could protect him. Paul, but two y'all, there's nobody in there who can protect y'all. I can tell you this. You see these two here? We need to know why there's so much silence because Dr. Terry's request is incredible. She says, because once she sees what they said, now remember there is discoloration of her face. These two just that was some drowning. I don't know if anybody drowns and this happens to their face. Discoloration of her arm. Selective bleaching. Oh, this is normal. Look at her face. Oh yeah, that's normal. That happens under normal circumstances. Really? Really? And her tummy skin is perfect. And Irfan got in front of the media to say that the doctors ruled out foul play. They also said nobody put her in the pool. All of that Irfan concluded, that the doctors concluded without going to the site, without questioning anybody. They drew a conclusion because, what's his name? McLaughlin? Caleb. Caleb said we all knew she drowned. He said we agreed before we were near she drowned. I'm telling you, buddy, that they will not be able to protect you. Those two doctors right here? No. And my concern is, why are you so quiet? Todd, Attorney Todd, we need to hear you speaking. At least there should be information from you to the media about what's going on here. The silence is deafening. I respect and I value your being an attorney. I do not want to tread on that ground, but I'm saying to you as a layman, there should be interaction with the public to keep this situation alive because Dr. Terry's request is important. She said that she would love to know what the Three Stooges said. I call them Three Stooges. What did they say? Why would she do that? Because she knows what she saw. So let them send a reporter to say something different. It's obvious because I'm not a pathologist.
I'm not a forensic pathologist. I'm not a criminologist, but I could assess this. This is open and shut for me. Just some images. If you said she was there for 20 hours, Three Stooges, then how is it that her hips were flexible after 20 hours? This is basic common sense. Any school of medicine will tell the three y'all are going to jail because you lied. We need to hear from this team about what's happening. We need to hear you say things like, well, there's certain we're still involved in that investigation. We're still seeking to have certain critical bits of information exchange. The police have refused to give us the report. Stuff like that we want to hear from y'all. Because there is disquiet. As a father, I am uneasy. See? Daddy, as a father, I am concerned. But maybe you have this happen to my child. I hope not. Because I could tell you something happened to me the other day. I began to share this. I was in the mall with one of the girls, one of my daughters, in Giffland Mall. She went to GT&T to do some business on behalf of her company. And I was there with her. Of course, we had a daddy-daughter day, so I was out with her. She got her lunch, whatever she wanted. And I went to the washroom. So she was by GT&T, if you know, Giffland Mall is by the movie theater. I went to the washroom. When I came out of the washroom, and I looked by GT&T, I didn't see my child. Listen to me, y'all. She could see me, but I didn't see her because she moved away from there. My daughter saw my facial expression, and she saw the speed, the rate at which I moved, and the manner in which I moved, because she knew that that mall was about to go down. My daughter knew. She looked at me, and when she said, "Daddy," when I turned around, she laughed because she realized the zone I got in right away. Listen to me. If I didn't see my child, and she's 21 or 23 by now, I can't remember it, sorry. If I didn't see my child within if I didn't see my child, Gift and More would not have been quiet. That's how serious this is to me. That's how this has impacted my life. I am thankful that my daughter recognized the zone her father switched like that and said, "Daddy, I'm here," because she knew. Apparently, she saw. Because I am not like Stephen, and I was Sir Brian. I was not gonna be just. He stood there to show us, as I said at the funeral. I knew that that was abnormal, but it was perfect because what Sir Brian did caused all of us to see who we dealing with in this country, and that wasn't the grandmother and Stefan and a 14-year-old girl. What we saw that night and the next day was not about three of them. It went way beyond the three of them. This was entirely political. I don't play with my children. I don't play with people's children. I don't play when it comes to children in this country. And that's why I'm this way with this bowler creature. You think that somebody is stupid. You want to read some statement, some concocted statement that makes no sense and digs a deeper hole for you because you need to first of all tell people how you could be at a pool thinking that a child is in it, knowing according to your reasoning that this pool at the 8 feet section is so
opaque, so murky that you can't even see. But yet, when the child is found, she's in a standing position, and her head can be seen, her feet can be seen. So you don't need to go to the bottom anyway. But even in that case, you did not go overboard to check. You had no lifeguard. You didn't. You just took the word of an instructor. We don't have to search. Let's go, and you accepted that. And for 20 hours, you never once said that you went back to the pool to search because you said you were in prison. Remember you said that? You said you were in jail. So if you are in jail, how are you now on this broadcast talking to people about what happened the next day? You were in jail, don't forget that. And the cameras weren't working. They were being serviced. I never knew that these little cameras in the house are serviced. They're replaced, they're not serviceable. But yours are. Anyone, be it We Invest in Nationhood, Forward Ghana Movement, APNU, AFC, I don't call the other parties, anyone who replaces this pathetic party called the PPP, you all had better ensure, I know that Forward Ghana will, commit to an international investigation into this Adriana situation. And all parties involved will have to face the most significant and extreme aspects of the law pertaining to the situation. All of you. I thank you all for your time. And I say again that I would hope that Dexter Todd and team would be present and loud. We need to hear. We need to know. Collins and Rudner, the worst place for you to live is USA, and you come with this three-suit foolishness because Dr. Terry will have you all backs to the wall. I could tell you this. You agreed with Caleb that she drowned before he even touched his child. That alone has you in trouble. You'd better talk and talk fast. I thank you all for your time. Do well until we meet again.